so. Go on do you. No study that. Them can't hold you down, them can't hold you back. You overcoming everything and you've been through a lot. So keep going and giving it everything you got. Go on do you. No study that. Them can't hold you down, them can't hold you back. You overcoming everything and you've been through a lot. So keep going and giving it. If nobody not clap for you, go on and clap for yourself. Hold on, stop it. Mistake yourself for one of a plaster, man. Alright. Give me the final track. No one has the energy now, no. No one has the energy. SP say hop, 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 hop. Rock it. Most I will die forever. Forever. Oh, I'm your vex. Smile, man. You're in a good place, you know. You're in starting point. All right. If you're glad to be alive, if you're glad to be here, go so. Most I will die forever. Poor are you feel man a prayer. Depart from the king I will. Cause he keep us strong under. Show me the hearts of my friends and the families. Reveal the plans of my enemies. Show me who we are. Show me the things with it. In a Mickey day and boats and me sort up. In a job is and them carry. One of power wicked and fake and all over here and me burn all the Judas. Many a call but still I see don't choose us. Roll with the pride and them can be. And me a stand up in front all of them with me sword and me shield and most time we die forever. Fool where you feel man. Depart from the king I will never. Cause he keep us strong under. Show me the hearts of me. Reveal the plans of me. Show me who we are. He said they don't got the heart like way, heart like way, heart like way. And I work hard since 2003, 2003, 2003. You don't know nothing about we boy. Stop reading the G1, G boy. Them don't know nothing about way. PAM people. Brave. And the more them fight, and the more man name call. Them can't intimidate because we are braver. 3 quarters of SK until we say the thing shot. Them can't intimidate. Most time we die forever. Fool where you feel, man. Depart from the king I will never. Cause he keep us strong under pressure. Show me the hearts of my friends and my families. Reveal the plans of my enemies. Show me who we are. Show me the things with it. Thank you very much. Hop, 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 hop. All right. Okay.
Them finno say a gauge. Them finno say a gauge a represent. How me say your bill of vibes sound? 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 Okay.
No, I get one from show manager.
Double M, yeah. Jumping a style and the rhythm like
I gotta do what I want. Yeah, we're asking everybody to please come under the tent. Gather under the tent. I asked the thing I keep. Yeah.
Okay. Double M. Yeah. Jump in the sky and the rhythm like angle me. Have a little money in the pocket 'cause I just got paid. I could do it a little more, but I'm still irate. So now I'm stepping out to a party. Trouble when I link up with my friends and family. Man, anywhere we go, we mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody see me and they say we act it up. We just live it, mash it up. We rip it up, we mash it up. Girl, them a fi bubble and them a fi back it up. Everybody see me and they say we act it up. So I'm gonna take a little drink and I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm gonna wine if I feel like. And I'm gonna live how I want. So I'm gonna take a little drink and I'm gonna do what I want. And I'm gonna wine if I feel like.
Good evening, everybody. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, could you, and well-wishers, could you stand so we can get going with the national anthem? If the DJ is not playing it, we'll have to sing it, so someone who could carry a key could sound the key and let's go. Oh, land of beauty, our country where peace abounds, thy children stand free on the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles, St. Kitts and Nevis be, a nation bound together with a common destiny. As stalwarts we stand for justice and liberty, with wisdom and truth, we will serve and honor thee. No sword nor spear can conquer, for God will sure defend. His blessing shall forever to posterity extend. Please remain standing as we ask Jervon Pemberton to come and invoke God's word of prayer.
Good night. Good night, comrade. Sorry. Good night. I'm sorry. Good night, members and friends of the People's Action Movement. I would love you all to bow your head in prayer right now. Almighty God, we want to thank you for the gift of life We want to give you all the glory for the opportunity for us to be here tonight. It is because of your goodness that is why we can come together in the community of Sandy Point to listen to the PAM candidates as they share their plans and ideas with us. We pray for us as a community and for all who are gathered here tonight. We ask for a special blessing on our leader, the Honorable Sean Richards, as he leads his team and the people to victory in the upcoming election. We ask that you would give him a wisdom and that he would depend on you and not lean on his own understanding. We pray for good weather tonight and we pray for peace. Finally, we ask that this meeting would be one to remember and that we would all be respectful when we speak to each other this evening. To God be the glory for the great things you have done and will continue to do in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you very much. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. Sandy Pointers, Sean City. I have some news for you. After what we did in constituency number 1, when we add a name to Natasha's great name, I get jealous. I get envious. So from tonight, my name is Chesley O'Neill Pam. And just in case you think it's a mistake, check the first 3 letters of my last name. I think the H is a mistake. They went to write a P. So, you could even say Chesley O'Neill Pamilton. Because that's who I am from tonight. If you don't want to say the last name, just say, Mr. Pamilton, and I will answer. The H is not silent like in French. It's not like you are a Jamaican and so you say, Mr. Hamilton. No. If you want to pronounce it hard, and you can't pronounce the H hard, say Mr. Pamilton, and I will answer. Okay? So, nice. We got that. So you know who I am now. Just in case you want to shout my name wherever I am, and somehow you're pausing because of certain circumstances, you could easily say Chesley Hamilton, Chesley Pamilton, Chesley O'Neill Pamilton, Chesley O'Neill Pam, and I will answer. Okay? Good. Get that out the way. It's interesting, you know, that the last place I really spoke on a PAM platform is in Sandy Point. Up by Millie Brooks up there. Sometime in 2015. And it's interesting I'm back here before the people of Sandy Point, chairing this meeting tonight. And I want to say something about your leader. I want to say something about your candidate. I want to say something about your representative. I want to say something about the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Sean K. Richards. I have been many places with this gentleman throughout the world. And if there's one word you could describe him with, is Sean K. Richards is an honest man. If Sean tells you no, it is no. If Sean tells you yes, he's going to do something, You could take it to the bank. It's like gold. It's like gold. He is an honest man. Some old people tell you honesty is the best policy. And when it comes to Sean K. Richards, don't let nobody tell you that Sean was vexed with somebody because his name was in a report. Sean wanted the police to tell the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And therefore, it is about the truth. If you allow a constable to tell a lie, then the corporal going to tell one too. Then the sergeant going to tell one too. Then the inspector going to tell one. Then the superintendent is going to tell one. Then the assistant commissioner going to tell one. And just like he said, the commissioner going to tell one. And when the commissioner lies, he lied to the Minister of National Security. And who that? Then he lies to the Prime Minister. When a fish stinks from the head, it really stinks. And we cannot afford rot in the system. Then they're going to lie to magistrates. Then they're going to lie to judges. And then they're going to lie on you. And that is the problem in our society. When we allow one little lie to go, we need another lie to support it. And then another lie, and then another lie. Sean wants to kill that before it grows into a cancer. And therefore, he wants the truth. Sean is an honest man, and that's all he wants out of his leaders. That's all he wants out of government. That's all he wants out of his officials. The truth. So don't let nobody tell you Sean is doing something because his name is in a report. And you can't alter a report. All Sean wants is the truth. And if you have leaders who doesn't want honesty, you need to get rid of them. Don't side with nobody who are part of the rot and decay in our society. Sean K. Richards is an honest man. And you want honest, decent leadership in government. Be one. You see Sean in the hospital or going hospital or sick? No. You see Lindsay going in the hospital and coming out? No. You see Jonel going in the hospital and coming out? No. But look at those around Timothy. Every minute you see in and out of the hospital. Every minute Eugene got a health issue. Not that I'm wishing anybody bad. You hang around people like that, and it's either sickness or death is coming your way. Do not let that cancer take over yourself. Timothy Harris is good all the time, and all the time Timothy Harris is good to keep from. To keep from. All the time he's good to keep from. So keep from him. Because anybody associated with him is only decay and rot will come their way. He touched labor, labor rotten. He come in PAM with unity, and he made it rotten. So that is why we have got rid of the cancer. He can't fire people who don't fire him. How long Sean hang on cabinet? He can't fire Sean because Sean quit long time. He fired the work long time. Okay. Now he come and talk about he firing Sean. Fire who? The people of Sandy Point is the only people who decide whether Sean works or not. Ladies and gentlemen, you got a good leader. I hear people in Bastille, wherever say, Sean went to bat for me. I wish I could change my name to Sandy Point. The grudge and the envy are you. Because that young man, no matter, you could, he's the only man to answer his phone, just so. The others will call you back. But you want to know about this man, he's always accessible. No matter where he is. He ain't telling you deal with no functionaries. He ain't telling you deal with no functionaries. Sean is there for you. And that's the kind of leadership you want no matter where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this before I call the next speaker. 2 days ago, I'm on my way to court. 9 o'clock in the morning, my phone ring. I answer it. Who's on the phone? We only national living national hero. He's on the phone to me. And he said, "It sounds like you're busy." I said, "Can't be too busy for you." He said, "Well, what you doing?" I said, "In the square on my way to court." He said, "Well, you're busy." I said, "I can't be too busy for you." The judge got to wait. Let me hear what you have to say. And he called me and he said he wants to thank me for coming forward. He knows that I made a sacrifice and he wants to thank me. Hearing that from a great man, I was almost in tears going to court. But I want you to let you know, so Kennedy called me, I didn't call him, to thank me for coming forward and tell me to work hard, hit the ground hard running, and make sure that I bring home that seat for the People's Action Movement. I said, thank you. I was last for words. You believe Chesley Hamilton was last for words? I was last for words. I didn't know what more to say. But I thank him, and then I went to court. I don't care if me late for court. Because when I'm a great man, when that great man call, I have to answer the phone, and I have to listen. And I want to thank him publicly. I was on the platform. I ran under him. I ran under Lindsay. And now I get the opportunity to run under Sean. Okay? So this is a great moment for me. I just want to let you know that Sir Kennedy is in support of Sean K. Richards, 100%. 100%. I mean, he said things to me that I can't say to you all right now in terms of what he had done and what he's doing to assist and to help, but I just want to let you know. So Kennedy is behind us 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause there right now, and I'm going to call on the first speaker tonight. It's no longer you, so I know. So you're coming? It's you. Me? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call to the microphone now. Put your hands together for your neighbor in Parliament from constituency number 4, Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant, to address you.
Yes. Where my people action movement massive day. Show me your rocks, show me your flags.
Members, friends, supporters, well-wishers of the People's Action Movement, a pleasant good evening. Tonight we are here in Sandy Point. This is the last of our town hall meetings, and we are here in Hub City, Sandy Point, SP, where the best be. And tonight we've come in support of our political leader, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards. In less than 2 months, Sean will make history in St. Kitts and Nevis. Because in less than 2 months, we will come back to you here in Sandy Point with a massive public meeting thanking you overwhelmingly for coming out in support of the People's Action Movement and our political leader, the next Prime Minister, who will be so in less than 2 months. But the next Prime Minister and the team up here, we are depending on you. We are depending on you to do the work to get each and every candidate in place for the People's Action Movement. You are not just to bring home the candidate of constituency number 5, the next Prime Minister, but you are to bring home the candidate in constituency number 1, Shani, Natasha, Shani, Gray, Brooks, Pam. You are to go down to constituency number 2, and you are to bring home and return again the Honorable Jonelle Powell into the fold. And we are going to break a record and make history again in constituency number 3 by bringing home Kervin Milabox Freeman in number 3. In number 7, in number 8, we are asking you to bring home again, and we have to do the work, Chesley Hamilton in constituency number 8. I understand that they're shaking in their boots after we announce a candidate for 3 and we announce a candidate for 8. You realize up to now they can't announce or find any candidates. I understand the candidates are saying to the people in the fake Labour Party that because they know that the People's Action Movement will win, they want them to bring the money, what they said they have for them, before they go run. You see, on this platform, we don't take money to run. We run on principle in this party. We run because we believe in the People's Action Movement, and we believe in the ideals of the People's Action Movement. We believe in putting people first. We are asking you that you give us the opportunity to finish the work that we've started. We are asking you to give us the opportunity to finish the work that we've started. We, as the majority in the cabinet, are putting a tremendous amount of work. And I want to say this to you. When they go on and they come to the people and they're talking about my government and I this and I that and I this and I that, nothing to all go so. In 2015, how many people, how many candidates, how many representatives the People's Action Movement had in 2015? You could remember? We had 4. We had 4 representatives. This Concerned Citizens Movement had 2. And who had the least amount? PLP. PLP had the least amount in 2015. 1. Nothing could have passed in the cabinet if the 4 of us said we weren't in agreement. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing could have been passed in the cabinet unless we in the People's Action Movement say we agree with that. In 2020, you had how many members of the People's Action Movement? 4 members of the People's Action Movement. We had 3 from the Concerned Citizens Movement, and we had 2 from the PLP. Again, nothing could pass unless the People's Action Movement and the candidates and the representatives say it was okay. Nothing could have passed. We could have blocked anything we wanted to block. So I'm saying to you, they're going around and saying that we're done with the peace. Nothing target, so. Is we agree for the peace to come on stream? What they're talking about? We agree for the peace to come on stream by giving a stroke of a pen. What we are saying is that we don't agree with the administration of it. So what do I mean by that? It's 45 million thereabout money in the peace program, you know. $45 million of the peace program we're talking about. And I want to ask the young people on the peace program, how much of the $45 million you get? How much of the $45 million you get? And when you answer that, I want to say to you, the money is managed by the development bank. The money is managed by the development bank. Who in charge of development bank? Who in charge of development bank? So who in charge of the money for the peace program? And recently you would see a lot of money they're coming with to the people with. I don't know where they get the money from. But we have to ask ourselves, if the peace program is being managed by the development bank, and the person who is in charge of the development bank is closely linked to the Prime Minister, and they have a lot of money sharing around now, but I have to ask where the money come from. I am not saying it come from there, I just asking a question. And we are saying that the administration of the program we have to look at. Because when the man of the peace program is getting $500 or whatever they're getting, I don't know, somebody else who not on the program might be getting $5,000 and $50,000. You understand what I'm saying? So the people who really need the money and the peace, ain't them getting it. Ain't them getting it. It's the people who mismanaging the program. And so that is why we say that the peace program will continue on the new government of the People's Action Movement and the CCM. It will continue. But it's going to be continuing in an organized, efficient, and transparent manner. That is what you want. I didn't come tonight to talk about the fact that I'm running a breakfast program in my constituency for 150 children every day. I was campaigning the other day. I missed twice up now. But the sweeter one is the last one, so I'll tell you about the last one. We had a lot of time for story. I go to a household, I think it's this week or last week. I went to a house that's traditionally supporters of the Labour Party. And I'm on the campaign trail. And when I go to this house, which is traditionally Labour, and I talk about the breakfast program, the woman said to me, Mr. Grant, let me tell you something here. My son don't want to eat breakfast in here when morning come here. He want to eat the breakfast that you're providing at the Tyrrell William Primary School. You understand what I'm telling you? This is reaching far and wide. And I want to thank the volunteers who come out every day to provide that for the children. Give them a round of applause. I didn't come to you tonight to talk about the fact that I run a HARP program, H-A-R-P, HARP program, a homework and reading program for about 60 children thereabout from the community. And what is the HARP program? If you want help for exams, we're there to help you. You want extra work because you're falling behind in school, we help you. You are slow, we help you. Whatever it is, we have a program of 60 children and 16 volunteers where we help people in the community. For free. For free. But hear this. I see a gentleman now, say, teaching 6 children in a classroom. 6. And it's a business because they got to pay. Tell them PAM running a program on the Lindsay Grant and there is free program. Nobody got to pay. I didn't come to you tonight to tell you that when we form the next government, we're going to have a nice little strip along the highway in Old Road where we're going to have young entrepreneurs selling and being entrepreneurs. I didn't come here tonight to tell you that when we win the government the next election, we are going to have something in Challengers called the Kalinago Village. From the old time Amerindium, 15 to 20 young people have businesses right there. That's the one that blocked me the other day. The A1 me shine. But tell them, don't care what they do, Lindsay Grant continues to shine for the People's Action Movement. I want to tell you, you have a great team in the People's Action Movement. You have a good leader in Sean Kenneth Richards, who's going to take us into the next election and who is going to be the next Prime Minister in St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't have to tell you Sean's attributes. I don't have to tell you that Sean was a man fighting the might of the Labour Party, he alone in Parliament and performing above his weight. You know that. You've seen him in action. But what I want to tell you is that this election is a serious election. This election is a serious election. They are going to come with all kind of money. All kind of money they're going to come with. These are hard times. These are hard times. And I know some of you going to see the money and you're going to wonder what to do. I can't tell you what to do. But you know, if you got your children to feed and you see the money, take the money and vote your conscience and vote the People's Action Movement. I want to end with one last thing. I want to end with one last thing. I understand that they fire some people on the SCASPA board today. St. Kitts Christopher A. and Supports Authority. I understand they fire some of the board members today. I also understand that they fire some board members, members on the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC. But God don't like ugly. Imagine the parliament of this great nation has already been dissolved. Imagine that, you know. The parliament has already been dissolved. We're going to election in less than 60 days. And you mean, goodness gracious, to talk about the foreign people? They got heart? Really? And them who sign in the letter, they're neither elected or electable. They're neither elected or electable. But they're signing. But sometimes you see when people not got no picnic, I saw that they're gone. Because them kind of people can't have no heart. Them kind of people can't have no heart. And I want to say something to you. I want to say something to you listening tonight. I want to say something to you listening tonight. If you see how they're going on, this is only the build-up. If you give them a chance to get into government, you're going to see what they're going to do. And let me tell you something. I have not practiced law in probably 15 years. Maybe more. I don't even know. Because I've committed my life to public service. But I look at the letter that was written about the UDC by Wendy Phipps, and I realized she signed as the minister responsible for Port Zante. There's no minister responsible for Port Zante. There is no minister responsible for Port Zante. Why some people can get a lot of money for wrongful dismissal, you know. But you see, they're so hurry to fight down people and so hurry to fire people that they're making all kinds of mistakes. But I hear my grandmother used to say, right? Nobody sorry for Marga dog. No sorry for Marga dog. We have a job to do. We are almost there. The momentum is with the People's Action Movement. We just have to continue to press on and press on and press on. Victory is in sight. Victory is around the corner. Do not drop the ball because the victory is yours. The victory of the People's Action Movement is ours. And we are waiting for the next 60 days or before when we will say, Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards, Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. God bless you. Good night.
Yes. Where my people action movement massive day. Okay.
The man Talawa. The man Talawa. Let me hear it one more time for the Honorable Lindsay Fitzpatrick Grant. Grant is sure in number 4. You know, I just want to give you a little thing again. There was this man who decided he gonna form a party. He thief people from the People's Action Movement. He thief Labour Party from the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, and then he say he got a party. Really? Really? Can't come better than that? Dolly House? I really think so. I mean, come up with something original now. You join in the Concerned Citizens Movement. You join in the People's Action Movement. Come up with the real labor movement now. Or the People's Labor Movement. Because we are one movement. Moving forward. People, we are on the move. Exodus, movement of the people. Forward ever. Forward ever. Forward ever. Can't come up and then turn around and thief our slogan, putting people first. Man, look at all the PAM bus them. Look at everywhere you go. You see, putting people first. We more than 50 years in this country. You just a come. But that's your slogan. Stop copycat. Copycat, carbon copy. Ain't real. Fake labor. Fake people. Fake everything. Them are people to keep from. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. We're moving right along. Strength of a woman. In constituency number 1, warriors from the east. Warriors from the east. Make some noise. Make some noise. For Natasha, Johnny, Gray, Brooks, Pam to address you. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the microphone the next parliamentary representative for constituency number 1. A real woman. I say a real woman. A real woman. Natasha, Shani, Gray, Brooks, Pam.
So amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is a what, is a what, is a what.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement. Tonight we are in Hub City, Sean City, the city of the next Prime Minister. Pedro Street, you in the house. Romney Ground, you in the house. Fig Tree, you in the house. The Alley, you in the house. Sandy Point, massive. Okay. Are my warriors from the east in Sandy Point as well? Long time ago, I used to tell my leader I can come Sandy Point to vote for him. But right now, it's a war in the east, a war in the west, a war all over, and we're fighting every single war. We are not letting them get the best of us. We are taking back our country. Do not allow anybody to stand in the way of progress. We have made too many strides in this great nation to allow vagabonds to come and want to rule this country. We are not going to allow them to hinder our progress. We don't care who they announce as caretaker down here or whatever fancy name they give them down here. It's going to be Sean Kenneth Richards. So whether it's the fake Labour Party, the real Labour Party, nobody could win this seat but Sean Kenneth Richards. It's going to be licks, left, right, and center. Sandy Point, how do you feel to know that this is the city of the next Prime Minister? Tell me, how do you feel? Pam sweet, and Pam nice. Sean sweet, and Sean nice. Sean, we love you. Just like how Patrice love you, we love you too. How does it feel to be part of making history in St. Kitts? Knowing that your vote and your support will elect the next Prime Minister and will secure the leadership and the future of our great nation. I must say that I feel honored and privileged to be here tonight. And it feels so good to be on the right side of democracy, the right side of history, the side of the people. PAM has always been about putting people first. And all the this is possible because I am a part of the People's Action Movement and the Real Unity team committed to bringing this nation forward. Mr. Leader, I take this opportunity to thank you and thank you for your leadership. You have led this party and you will lead this great nation into prosperity. Thank you for your dedication of safeguarding and modeling the principles of good governance, integrity, and servant leadership. Thank you for being the captain of this unity ship, steering this party and steering this movement. Even now, amidst all the noise and confusion, and I said to you, ignore the noise and ignore the confusion. You are leading from the front, navigating us in turbulent waters. Rest assured that my colleagues and I, who work with you every day, are here as your pillars of support. We believe in you, and we are grateful for you. The constituents of Sandy Point are very fortunate to have you as their representative, as we will all be when you are the next Prime Minister. In just less than 2 months, we will have a new day in this great nation. We would have a great Prime Minister. We would have one of the best prime ministers. We wouldn't have to worry. He will be a prime minister of the people and for the people and by the people. Thank you once again for putting your faith and trust in me to be part of this movement. The Team Unity agenda is alive and well. If we get rid of one person, that doesn't mean that there is no team unity. As we know, team unity does not have to have Timothy. So when we head to the polls, we will be taking action to preserve the good and safeguard the gains of this great nation. When we head to the polls on election day, we are taking action against injustice, against broken promises, against ineptitude in governance. Heading to the polls is taking action. Sandy Point, are you ready for action? Are you ready to head to the polls? Are you ready to head to the polls and send a strong message? Are you ready to head to the polls and take back our country? It is our message that we are rejecting politics as usual. It is our message that we are rejecting nepotism and victimization, greed, and unscrupulous behavior in high office. Lord, I'm sorry after the next election, may I be practicing law, because it's down Church Street are going. But all those who get the letters, I want to represent you, but I can't find a lawyer to represent you. Because, as Mr. Grant said, that those letters seem to have been signed, and somehow somebody got had to pay a lot of money. But don't worry, God is in the midst. But before we get to the poll, we must sound the message and sound it strongly. We have to send a clear message, as Hardy says. We have to show them the record of real unity. And we must sound it throughout every village, not just in Sandy Point. Sound it in Central Bastille, sound it in number 4, sound it in East Bastille, sound it strong in number 7, sound it, sound it, sound it. We need to mobilize our people and get everyone involved. The direction of this country is too crucial, and we have to act and act now. We urge you to engage with us. Let the candidates know your concerns. We are coming to you wherever you are, door to door, knocking at every door and making sure we make an effort to touch every household. And we are ensuring that our message will be heard. We urge you to join us, join the discussion, and ask the tough questions. Don't be afraid. Hold us accountable. We know that at the end of this election, you will do the right thing. We want you to share your ideas with us, what you would like to see, so that we can continue to shape the agenda and this movement. This is a movement for the people and by the people. As Chesty said, it's Exodus, movement of the people. PAM and CCM will keep its promises to ensure that the agenda is aligned with the needs of the people, so that our leadership is born out of the belly of the people. All the people, not just some of them. Everything we do is people-driven. I met a young lady today in my constituency, and she said to me, Shani, they're coming around and saying how you ain't a people person. You don't talk to people. And I tell them, Shani does touch everybody. She ain't got to wait until politics come to talk to nobody. Don't take them on, Shani. I'm going to take what they give me and I'm going to vote for you. Let them go about their business. They have been meeting in secret corners and trying to undermine me since October, but I don't care, because the constituents say night or day we voting grey. I believe in the mandate of the people and the ideals of People's Action Movement, and I am privileged to join this legacy as servant leadership. This legacy is a strong legacy. Solid as a rock, as my mother said, solid as a rock. And it has been inspired to shape the face and the gains of St. Kitts and Nevis. As a woman working with this team, I look forward to raising the volume on the backbone of this country, women and girls, their affairs and interests within government. Thank you, midwife. I hear you behind there. I look forward to representing the people and the families of this nation, the not so old and the young, the single families, the conjugal families, and the blended families. Their well-being is my platform and my promise. With this PAM CCM team, we promise that no family will be left behind. We will touch every family, whether it is by education, expansion of safety nets and social services, or the facilitation of entrepreneurship opportunities. While we take care of the immediate needs, we will work to lift people out of poverty and create an environment in which the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis can realize their full and true potential. This is what movement is all about. Sandy Point, let me hear you. Thank you, Shauna. As I conclude, I reiterate the importance of now. Get yourself ready. Get geared up. Put on your walking shoes. Put on your boxing gloves if you have to. This is a war to the finish. Now is a time for action. Now is a time to stand with your leader. Now is a time to stand with your candidates. Now is a time to stand with your party. Rally behind your next parliamentary representative. Now is a time to be a part of the People's Action Movement. I stand before you tonight confident that my decision was the best decision to join this great team. I am confident that the work that we will do together for the people of this great federation will be the work of the people. We will work steadfastly to ensure that we have the best nation. I am confident in the ideals for which we are fighting for. Good governance, accountability in public office, fair share for all the people, not just some, and safeguarding the gains. Thank you for having me in Sandy Point tonight. Mr. Leader, again, I thank you. I thank you for making sure that I am part of your team. I look forward to being here again after the next general election when we come down for one big celebration. I look forward to walking down Church Street with you because you are not going to leave me. You are not going to leave me. People ask me, but Shani, you out to work? I said, no, I'm on maternity leave. But when the maternity leave done, I'm going down Church Street. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Woman power. Strength of a woman. Put your hands together one more time for Natasha, Shani, Gray, Brooke, PAM. And the last time I was speaking, I talked about rat. Another word for rat is mole. Anyway, Timothy go mole there. Government headquarters got mole. That's why some of them gone over Port Zante. You go over in the courthouse got mole. You go in the past your police station, mole inside there. You go in the prison, mole there. Wherever you go, mole. But the part that really bothers me, is the courthouse. Because for the last month I'm working in there, doing a case. The registrar does not come in to work. She works from home. The other sister gone over in the new building. Got no mole over there. Okay? But the staff got to go in the mole, is a mole infested building. I mean, today I come out the courthouse, to go to a funeral up St. Peter's. What did I notice? The staff outside. So I said, good afternoon, but I hustling to go to the funeral. But I realized what's going on. The staff bringing out documents outside for the woman to sign, She not even going in the building to sign a document. But the staff got to walk inside there. The staff got to walk in there. But I sat in court and heard a member of the bar addressing the judge yesterday. And he said he ain't sending back nobody from his office into the courthouse under those conditions. He went on to say there is no hand sanitizer, there is no toilet paper, there is nothing to wipe your hands when you're done. Do whatever you do inside there. And under those conditions, he cannot be sending anybody into those unsanitized conditions to work. And that's why we come to, and he praise up EAG. I mean, EAG bill, don't forgive me, but EAG build a brand new building next to the old courthouse. But in order to go and use the library over there, you got to come outside, walk in the rain to go over there. I mean, you couldn't build a ramp from one building to the next. Really? Really? A complete waste of taxpayers' money. You understand? Because when people like them, they think they know everything, and they never darken the halls of the courthouse with the present before they reach where they reach. Never been there. Never did a murder case. Never did any. They did one case, and halfway through they felt sick. The brother had to finish the case. The client went jail, and his Nital had to write the submissions and appeal so that the client could get out. I know whom you talk about. I mean, I call no name. Sometimes I just need to leave people where they be. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I was to now be introducing a member of parliament. But somebody say he visited his dentist today and he thought it was a little heavy. So he cannot speak eloquently. So I'm going to give the Honorable Jonel Franchet. I think I remember. Franchet, Hobart, Powell, PAM, a break. He always want to remind me, that his roots is in Sandy Point. That the Powells, not the Powells, the Herberts and the Manchesters come out of Sandy Point. Both the Labour Party and the People's Action Movement came out of Sandy Point. And he wants to tell me both sides were related to him, so he's well balanced in politics. You got something to say? You got something to say? You're talking heavy. You can make it? Ladies and gentlemen, even under the weather, even though he visited his dentist, please help me welcome the parliamentary representative for constituency number 2 to the microphone. He still wants to speak to the people of Sandy Point out of respect, even though he might be a little under the weather or under his dentist or doctor's care. Please help me welcome Jonel Powell to address you.
Yes. Where my people action movement massive day. Show me your rocks, show me your flags.
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good evening. I went to the dentist, I can't talk too hard or too much. But I couldn't come to Sandy Point, where my grandmother is from, and the home of the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, and not say something. And so, since I'm going to be brief, I want to make it worthwhile. And so I want to read a piece of scripture and leave it with you tonight. I read in from 2 Timothy, chapter 3, the dangers of the last days. And we're starting at verse 1. You should know this, Timothy, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. For people will love only themselves and their money. They will be boastful and proud, scoffing at God, disobedient to their parents, and ungrateful. They will consider nothing sacred. They will be unloving and unforgiving. They will slander others and have no self-control. They will be cruel and hate what is good. They will betray their friends, be reckless, be puffed up with pride, and love pleasure rather than God. And verse 5 reads, they will act religious, but they will reject the power that could make them godly. Stay away from people like that. Can I get an amen? Vote PAM.
Me impartial, I'm supposed to call on someone now to introduce the next the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. That's my point. That is exactly my point. Otherwise, are you on cue? Are you on point? I can't do that and leave one man up here not saying anything. He wasn't prepared to speak. But PAM people don't have to be prepared to speak. We always prepared. We're better than Boy Scout. Preparation, preparation, preparation. You know? Location, location, location. So, I'm just going to call on Mr. Freeman, Calvin, Milo Box, Freeman, PAM, to address you with a little greetings before I call on someone to introduce the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Milo Box! Put your hands together for Milo!
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. You see, just like Jonel, I couldn't come to the home of the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis and not utter a word. So here I am trying to say a few words for my friend and my leader, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards. When I first met Mr. Richards in 2003, it was at a party. It was a party at St. Peter's. And I looked at him, and somebody said, that is the guy who is Sean Richards. And I looked over, and I saw this guy, and I said, what? That's the guy who's supposed to run against Jason? And they say, yes. I went over to him, because you know me, me ain't afraid people, I approach anybody. And I said, young man, you are the person who's supposed to run for PAM? He said, yes. I said, you ready? He said, yes. I said, well, you don't look ready to me. He said, Myra, and I wonder how he knows my name. He said, Myra, I am ready. I said, but man, like see you here. He said, man, don't worry about me here. I am ready. I said, man, like see your shoes. He said, don't worry about my shoes. I am ready. And on the election day in 2004, he showed us that he was really ready by beating the representative for number 5 at the time, the Honorable Jacinth Henry Martin, to become the lone representative of the People's Action Movement in the House. What a man. And he's here now, so many years later, still representing the good people of Sandy Point. SP, SP, SP. Also, when I look around and I see, and I look at your people in Sandy Point, and I realize that the SP really also means smart people. Smart people. You have proved it over and over again, because only smart people can keep on electing a man like Sean Richards to be your representative. And we are here tonight, and we are here because of things that happen. Because you see, PAM was a part of Team Unity, along with CCM and the other party. But you see, when PAM and CCM was spelling team as T-E-A-M, the people for the other party was spelling team as T-I-M. So that's where the problem starts. So I'm not going to take up much time, because next week we're going to have the launching of my candidacy at the village, constituency number 3, So I'm inviting all of you to come on out and witness Milo on the go. And you're going to know that you're going to be on the go with Milo. So I'm leaving here now, and I want to say to you, good people of Sandy Point, I want you to continue. I want you to continue supporting our leader and your representative, the Honorable Sean K. Richards. And all I have to say to the party, which are the People's Labour Party, the PLP party, I'm going to change the name tonight. Because we are coming to take over this government. CCM is coming and PAM is coming. So PLP, from now, PLP means please leave peacefully. Good night.
Yes. Where my people action movement massive day. Show me
One more round of applause. Calvin Freeman, the candidate and the next parliamentary representative for constituency number 3. Speak it into the future. I just want to add one little thing to what he says. He said, the heights that great men reach and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards in the night. I came down here in 2004 or so with Sean K. Richards to a party in the house just across from Ben Jack's, where Patsy used to live. And after midnight that night, I see one portion of young people. I turned to Sean and I said, boy, most of PAM executive asleep all like I don't say. And that showed me that Sean was onto something different in Sandy Point. And he has continued to win in Sandy Point, and continue to win in Sandy Point, and continue to win in Sandy Point, because Sean never loses. No gimmicks. No gimmicks. No gimmicks. Sean never loses. Remember that? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce and bring to the microphone someone by the name of Daniel Warner. To introduce, to bring to the microphone, because she can't be introducing you. Let me change that. To give you an appetizer before the main course. Could you help me welcome Daniel Warner to the microphone?
Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. Y'all looking so lovely out there, you're yellow. Lovely, lovely. Sweet, sweet, and nice, nice. So it was about 17 years ago, our very own Moses from Sandy Point, he came forth and he parted that sea of red. Y'all know what sea I'm talking about, right? Okay. And to this very day, he remains a humble, reliable, dedicated servant to this beloved town. You could walk the length and breadth of Sandy Point, and when you're going to hear people saying, Sean, we love you, and we know you love us too. Sean is the definition of a loyal and committed man of the people. He has presented himself election after election after election to fight for the interests and the needs of Sandy Point. No gimmicks, no tricks. When you hear that, it's not just a slogan. It is not a catchphrase. That is Sean's philosophy. I am sure that many of us could attest to the fact that Sean has the ability to get
things done. His unwavering efforts for us in this constituency has earned him our confidence. There is no doubt, and I said no doubt. So when they come to you with the false promises and they tell you, oh, I promise Sean gonna lose his seat, tell them, Daniel wanna say, I have no doubt that Sean Richards will be our representative next election. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, join me, ladies and gentlemen. Hope City is chosen, the man with the plan, the best representative for this constituency. Our next Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Kenneth Richards.
Yeah, SP, Patrice again. Hey, I know you're watching Ocean walking out for way. I know you're seeing what he bringing for you. Fixing up SP in many ways. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. John, we love you, and I could tell you love us too. We feel you, we could feel your love and push it through. Just know we vote for you. You need to light up the playfield for way, light it up, pave the roads them for way, pave it up, build new stations for way, build it up. You know we voting for you.
No gimmicks. No gimmicks. No gimmicks. No gimmicks. Mike man. All right, sounding better. Sounding much better. Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. Fellow Sandy Pointers, SP, SP, thank you. The rest constituencies, you don't have to get jealous tonight because we're in SP where the best be. We welcome all of you to the beautiful and proud town of Sandy Point. Tonight, I want to thank all of you for joining us here in Sandy Point for this town hall meeting. I want to thank all of the persons who took time out to prepare this day hard court for tonight's meeting. A very special thank you to Patsy and her team of workers for the wonderful job that they did in ensuring that the facilities are clean this evening. To Mikey and his team who ensured that we decorated Sandy Point, I say thanks to them also. To all of the persons who assisted in inviting persons to this meeting and to the hundreds of you who have turned out, I am extremely grateful. The People's Action Movement is extremely grateful for your continued support.
It is always a pleasure for me to be with my people in constituency number 5. You, the people of constituency number 5, continue to fuel my drive. You are my pillar of strength and my tower of support. Throughout the many challenges that I have faced and we have faced together, I can always find encouragement from the trust that you have placed in me. You have held me up and you continue to inspire me to work harder and to go further. This unconditional love and faith will not be squandered. I do not take for granted your support, and for that very reason, I continue to fight for what is right, to fight for you, to fight for your children, and to fight for your families. To those of you who continue to message me and to hold me up in prayer, I say a very special thank you. I wholeheartedly look forward to this evening's dialogue to continue the course of engaging you, hearing your concerns, listening to your ideas, and charting a new direction for our constituency and our country. And let me say that as I spend more and more time with you each day, my excitement is growing because the landscape is shifting, the evidence is visible, and this federation's rebirth is on its way. I can see people who were once disillusioned, once feeling discouraged, getting excited again about our politics, about our politicians, and about our agenda. As we have unveiled new candidates, men and women who are grounded in the fabric of this nation and committed to the work that is required in building a just society, I can feel your pulse. The momentum is palpable, and we must continue to build on that. We have injected new life into our party, where only a few months ago there was an overwhelming sense of disappointment by some of you asking about our new candidates. How do I know this? I felt it. People were losing hope. And many of you, having realized that so many had no real place in the prosperity and future of this nation, you were complaining. But let me remind all of you that when we came into office 7 years ago on a unity ticket, we vowed to represent every single citizen of this federation. We had come together as unity on the premise of good governance and accountability. We said to you, no victimization. We promise you fairness. However, certain members of unity kept moving away from those. And it became difficult for us to continue to make excuses for the lack of action on these principles. You, the people, were no longer at the center of Team Unity's efforts. The government became one of self-aggrandizement and personal riches for a few, while the bulk of you continue to complain and to suffer. Some had to settle for crumbs from the table. It could not be right, and it was not fair. And let me say that over the past few months, we realized an escalation of these dastardly deeds. Bold deeds of unapologetic wickedness. After every effort to repair the broken bridge, to mend the broken relationship, the blatant abuse of power had to come to an end. For enough was enough. So for those who wonder why Team Unity mash up, I said to you that we and PAM and CCM did not mash up Team Unity. Timothy Harris mash up Team Unity. We of PAM and CCM, we refuse to budge on our demands that hurting people need the help the most. We refuse to budge on our demands that the people of this constituency and the people of this federation must not be victimized or become second-class citizens in this, their own land. We refuse to budge on the principle that at the heart of our leadership, our decisions, and every action must be you, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. What did he do in response? He launched a campaign of victimization against his own ministers in their constituencies. He refused proposals to reform the government. He marginalized ministers, and in the end, he fired all of us. I gave him a work hard, is you correct? Team Unity became a one-man show. Team Unity became about Timothy Harris and not you, the people of this great federation. You're right, because before 2015, he was unemployed. But I said tonight, the drive for unity is still there because it is fundamental to delivering for you, the people. Only difference is that Timothy Harris walked away from that fundamental premise. We are determined to continue on the path of unity with all willing partners, and in CCM we have found a willing partner. As the leader of this PAM and CCM collision, I am proud to say that this team can stand on its record and on its loyalty to fair and proper representation. Most of the gains in this country for the last 7 years were PAM and CCM inspired gains. And I dare anyone to challenge that. I said to you this Monday in Newtown that it was myself, Hartley Henry, and the same Timothy Harris at a meeting in Antigua which came up with the PAP program. So when Timothy Harris tries to convince you that the PAP program was his brainchild as usual, he is lying to you, the people of this country. But it is time to write a new chapter. It is time to write a chapter of hope, not a chapter of 3rd Timothy, because there is no 3rd Timothy. It is a new chapter of inclusiveness, a new chapter of real unity. This new chapter is about continuity, even while it is about a rebirth. This season is more than just about elections. This season is about establishing a new roadmap for the type of future that we want to build and the principles that we are determined to establish and hold as our guiding lights. This season is about how we want history to remember us, the type of legacy that we will leave for those who come behind of us. This season is about restoring your trust in elected representatives and in government. It is about returning to core values on which our party and our country were built. People-centered governance and leadership with people at the heart. A sustainable and prosperous future demands every citizen today to find his or her rightful place and work diligently every day to commit to the cause of nation building. The results might be slow in coming, but we must never tire of the role that we are called to play. For as difficult as the journey may appear to be, each achievement, each gain, each step sets the foundation for the future. I call on all of you today to rise to the challenge, to the great cause of nation building. Help us to build a future of which we can be proud. Help us to build a future in which every citizen can claim his or her fair share. Shani has answered that call. Milo has answered that call. Chesley has answered the call. They recognize what is at stake. This PAM CCM team is refreshed and determined to continue leading from the front. Cognizant of all of the missteps of the past, we march on. Satisfied with the gains that we have secured during our tenure, but fixated on pushing harder, going further, and achieving more, we march on. Confident in our collective ability to chart a new course in good governance, accountability, and integrity, we soldier on. Resolved to renewing and keeping the promises that we made to every man, woman, boy, and girl in this nation, we march on. Your PAM CCM team, real unity, will not rest, because we know that there are more people to be employed, more families to lift out of poverty and improve the quality of their lives. We know that there are more opportunities to be explored for all of the young men and young women that you see inside here this evening. More credible investors to attract, more foreign investment to propel our economy. We know that this federation can make more effective use of the gains of the Citizenship by Investment program and use it to transform more lives. If we are to defend this program, let us make it work for every citizen in some way, be it housing, healthcare, social programs, or education. The Citizenship by Investment program must not, cannot, and will not be used as the Prime Minister's personal treasure chest. It must be to the benefit of all of you, your children, and your families. It must be of benefit to every citizen of this country. You know, I find it rather interesting that when we were in opposition, we spoke about the Citizenship by Investment money going into the SIDF, which falls, or at the time, was outside of the consolidated fund, outside of government. When you ask the question about it, you are being told it is a private fund and no accountability can be given. What is happening now? The money is, yes, going into the treasury, but 40 million out of the money taken out of the treasury, budgeted under national security, but placed in the development bank to be administered under the peace program. Let us make it clear again that we have no issue with the peace program. We support the peace program. I have stood up in Parliament many times and defended the peace program. But I want to ask those on the peace program if you're satisfied that you are the ones receiving all of the $40 million. Are you satisfied that you are the ones truly benefiting from it? I am happy for persons like Chavez Nittal in this constituency, who has been a beneficiary of the peace program and has been able to start his own business. I am happy for Juice Daddy Rentals, a beneficiary of the peace program, running a successful business, and to all of the other young men who benefit from the peace program. I am indeed happy for them. And that is why I have stood up in Parliament many times and defended the peace program, and I will continue to do so because I recognize the benefits of the program. The Sandy Point community, it is a much more peaceful program because of the peace program. I want to thank my colleagues in the government then. Jonel was not a member then when the program started, but since he became a member, he too has supported the peace program. Lindsay was a member of cabinet when the peace program started, and Lindsay fully supported and continues to support the peace program. I also was a member of cabinet then, and I have always supported the peace program. When persons like Denzel Douglas got up in Parliament and he questioned it, I said to Denzel Douglas, you should be ashamed of yourself, because under your administration, we became known as the murder capital of the world. Here it is that this government has invested in our young people. And you must give the government credit. And you must also say to the young people that we are thankful that you have made a change in your lives. Because that is what the peace program has done. And so we take credit for that. Because without PAM being the majority in cabinet and giving support to such programs could not have come into existence. We must continue to restore confidence in our elected officials and not corruption in government. That is our concern. That when you take the money and you put it elsewhere, we are not certain that you, the person who's on the program, are getting the full amount of the money. As a matter of fact, this morning, I got a telephone call from someone, and the person is right here. The person said, I checked my bank account this morning, and I ain't gonna say how much money the person said they recognize in the bank account. But it was more money than they know to be in their bank account. The person said they called the bank, and when they called the bank, they asked the bank, well, how come I have these extra hundreds of dollars in my account? And when the bank did a check, the bank said it's money from the peace program. Person never, ever, ever signed up for the peace program. But money in the person's account from the peace program. And the person writing here, I ain't telling any lie. I ain't telling any lie. And so that is why I ask the persons on the peace program, if you're satisfied that those of you who are supposed to be getting the money, that the bulk of the money come in to you. I said to you that we must not allow victimization to raise its ugly head in this country. And we must keep the hard-working people of this nation on their best. Just today, you had persons who were fired from boards in an act of victimization. The only sin that those persons have committed is that they don't support Timothy Harris and PLP. But victimization is the hallmark of Timothy Harris. I can tell you, when I was Minister of Education, he tried to get me to victimize persons. And each and every single time, you all know me. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And if I tell you I ain't going to do it, you could bet your life I ain't doing it. I am a very plain spoken person. And I can tell you as I see it. And so, he would come, I must transfer this person from a school in Bastille to over Dateberry and Sadlers. Person live in Bastille, What is the reason you want the person transferred? They on Facebook I say bad things about him. And I would say to him point blank, I ain't doing it. If you want it done, wait until I travel and you have an acting Minister of Education and ask the person to do it. Because I ain't doing it. He came, he want this person to be retired. Why you want the person to be retired? Because on election day, the person was working for the opposition Labour Party. And again, I told him, on principle, I have given at least every individual who has asked, who has reached retirement age and asked for extension, at least 1 year extension, and I ain't doing it. And I refuse to do it. And again, I said the same thing to him. You want it done? then wait until I am not in office, somebody else acting, and ask the person to do it, because Sean Richards ain't doing it. Nastiness. He come one time, remove this person from being a principal. Why you want the person removed as a principal? The family does not support me. Really? Now if I am the minister and the person who is performing, I don't care which political party you support. The fact is that you're performing in your job, and that is what is most important, because it is about the education of our children at the end of the day. And so I had to tell him again, I am putting the person in the classroom to gonna teach. I am not doing it. And I never did, because that isn't me. I don't believe in victimizing persons. And so while persons like Duggins were fired today, his sister still sits on the board for Skelec. His brother sits on the board for Whitegate. He has a nephew on the board for CFBC. He has a nephew on the board for accreditation. And I can go on and on in terms of family members. What has Duggins done? Duggins was even on the board for UDC before he became the minister for UDC. Even before I became the minister for UDC, Duggins was on the board for UDC. But Duggins' sin is he's from Sandy Point, and he doesn't support Timothy, and he doesn't support PLP. But as I said to Duggins today, God is in the midst, and God will not give us more than we can bear. So continue to hold the faith. We will keep our promises to you. We will collaborate to build a just society, a society governed by transparency and integrity. Programs like PAP, STEP, the roofing program, and I understand the roofing program is supposed to start back up. So I hope all of the persons in Sandy Point we prevented from getting their roof fixed. Because when he told us that the program is finished, he has still been fixing persons' roof over in constituency number 7. But let him continue. He said he has the O, but as an expected say, the O that he has is the O in over. These programs must be made available to all of our deserving citizens, regardless of politics and other affiliation. Speaking about PAP, you have had young deserving persons from right here in Sandy Point to have applied. You have persons here in this community, like Genevieve Henry Screech, Clovis Daniel, and others who I have written about and asked about, message about over and over again. And because I don't tell lies. I have no reason to. November 1st, I can't hold up the phone this time. Last time I screenshot my phone. I sent a message to the PS. Hi, good morning, PS. She said, good day, Honorable Deputy, what's up? I said, I'm following up on a few matters. Firstly, the 2 PAP applications. Secondly, I had asked for some consideration for a lot of land, and I have the name of the individual. Thirdly, there's a lady by the name of Glenda Brown from Old Road, Lindsay should know, who looks after her dad. She works at a preschool and has it tough financially. She made an application for PAP, and I'm requesting some consideration that should be approved. Because when I ask about it in Sandy Point, people don't ask about. Anybody know me, you come to me, you ask me to look into something for you, I don't care where you're from, I'm going to look into it for you. I said thanks. And Lindsay said, since before election 2020, he spoke about Glenda Brown. I said, she replied the 2nd of November, Good day, Honorable Deputy. PAP matters go to PAM. 2 was sent. Not sure about the third, as I did not see that one. And she responded about the land application for the young lady. I told her the application for the young lady was for residential land. And I had asked about it since back in July, this November. She asked, was it submitted to the ministry? I said, yes. She said, okay, she will check on it tomorrow. Godspeed. Also, did you send the form for the next PAP? I said, I think the person applied before, but I can have a new form completed. That's the 3rd of November. The 22nd of November, good afternoon. Any updates on the PAP applications for Genevieve Henry and the next young man from Bastille? She said, good day, Honorable Deputy. I have not received any approval as yet. Bless you. I said, thanks much. January the 13th. Good afternoon. I'm not sure that I've wished you a Happy New Year's yet. So let me take the opportunity to wish you a wonderfully blessed one. During the latter part of last year, I had submitted some applications, names for consideration for PAP. I have not received any confirmation as to the status of those applications. There's now a Clovis Daniel that I am seeking some consideration on behalf of. The 15th of January, good day, Deputy, blessed 2020 to you and family as well. I was on vacation for the entire month of December and just returned to the office last Monday. I will look into the matter for you next week. God's spear bless you. After that, I start to write letters. Months after writing letters, I get back a response. The application still being processed. Well, these must be a green card. A green card will take 10 and 11 and 12 years to process. There must be a green card application submitted for the persons. Since last year and up until now, they can't get approval. Why? Because they're from Sandy Point? In the meantime, as I've said to you, persons who live in America and elsewhere getting approval to be on the PAP program. Well, I understand, you know. I understand that very shortly they plan to come to constituency number 2, Central Bastille. Constituency number 4, from Challengers to Halfway Tree, and number 5, Sandy Point and Fig Tree, to put persons on the PAP program. And they say for the next 3 months, the person's going to be getting $1,000. They start yesterday in 4. Desperation has kicked in. And so I said to all of you who have been applying and you get on, take the $1,000. But I realize that's only for the next 3 months, because he has recognized that after the next 3 months, election come, election gone. Unfortunately, no, not unfortunately, fortunately, he will not be there anymore. Take the $1,000 on an election day for all the months that you weren't getting the PAP program, you vote against them. You have the 15 houses that were built in mansion. Imagine the government of Venezuela, through the Petro-Carib agreement, donated 15 houses to the country. And it take all of them. The raving man take all of them. The selfish man take all of them. The big belly man take all of them. No wonder their bellies are bigger. The man take all of them with himself. Not even a killer he gave one to. I remember when the same hurricane came, Udine down Jambi Lane, actually dropped down a Udine house. Mash up the front part of Udine house. Udine promised a house. 15 houses built, and not even half a haggard Udine get. And he know to build half a haggard because he had built them on the labor. Not even half a haggard Udine get. Roy for Jane was also promised a house because the hurricane affected him. 15 houses built, free houses. Not a Sunday persons have to pay for them. and he took all of them. And so we said to you that cronyism and nepotism must be called out for the scourges that they are to true and meaningful development. Our focus will be on building houses to cover and bridges to connect our people. Building and refurbishing schools and daycares, such as those here in Sandy Point, health centers and hospitals, because we recognize the critical importance of health care, parks and playing fields. Our focus is on building human capacity through training, education, and entrepreneurship. This is what leadership that cares about you must and will do. Here in this constituency, I have kept my promises to you, the people. I promise you a brand new police station, and it has been delivered to you, the people. It is the biggest and the best police station in the entire Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. For over 25 years, we had a playfield without lights, and I promise you that lights will be placed on the playfield. And so in the first term, you got lights on the playfield. Some of you complained that the lights were not adequate, and during this, the second term, I ensured that 2 additional light poles were added to the playfield. I have grown up here in Sandy Point, and I almost 50 years. I grew up down Downing Street. You had places down there like where we call the Pony Yard. Never had one bit of asphalt or concrete on those roads. And I promise you that those roads will be paved and those roads were delivered. See Putty right there, Putty lives across there, so Putty knows what I'm speaking about. I have kept my promises, and I can go on and on. After the next election, I assure you that we will upgrade Paxson Hospital, because we recognize that we need to improve on health care here in this federation. It's just this week a lady from Sandy Point messaged me and told me she has a problem with her heart and she has to go with twice a year. These are some of the critical services that we need to look at in terms of health care. No, I say they want what? A pressure machine, a proper pressure machine. She's speaking from experience. Lord, no going to give out all the business. I have spoken to you about a bypass road here in Sandy Point, and the bypass road will be delivered. We still have roads in Sandy Point here to be paved, and those roads will be paved. Yes, schema up by you. Yes, and up farm site. Yes, up farm site, Miss Bractus. And up, yes, up by you. Yes, and up by you and Maxwell. Yes. As a matter of fact, that one should have been done already. It should have been done already. We still have some work left here in the hard court to be done. You can look forward to a new preschool, upgrades to the Victory community, and so many other things in this community. No longer will we be starved for the resources by a vindictive man who only cares about himself and his family. Yes, Patsy. The foundation and gains laid for the future by this PAM CCM Unity Brigade must not and should not be gambled on, because tomorrow is at stake. To those supporters who for some reason have gone astray, I say let us not turn to the past, but look to the future. This is a call to every constituent and to every citizen to join us in this rally for togetherness in confronting the challenges that we face. We say to you, come home, come home, come home. You have had a front row seat to the bitterness of politics these last few years, but you have also watched our team advocate for you and turn the divisiveness into an open community of debate and the exploration of ideas, where every voice is considered and marked as worthy. And those voices are echoing loudly every day throughout this campaign and our community engagements. From meeting to meeting and from corner to corner, we are witnesses to the change and the hope that is sweeping this nation. The fighting spirit of the petition and the vision is being revived, and hope is blossoming where seeds of despair were recently sown. I call on everyone, including our lost supporters, my lost supporters in this very constituency, to join us as we aspire to take back our nation. Come home. Empowerment can be ours again. Don't be fooled by others. He has all sorts of consultants in the country. He had some from St. Lucia who left recently. He has some from Barbados who came in recently. He has some from some group out of England named City Group. Some of them came in yesterday. All sorts of consultants Saul has in the country. You all know Saul from the Bible, the tormented soul. His name is Saul. His soul is tormented. Tormented. And Saul was tormented because Saul knew his time had come to an end. And so we have Saul. Just this one, let you know a little bit about the Bible. Saul is a tormented man. And as he becomes more and more tormented, he will become more and more desperate. Right now they're trying to call my name in all kind of things. I have said to them on many occasions that my mother has always said to me, it is not for want of a tongue why cattle don't talk. So all who want to call me name, tell them I say come. Tell them I say come, let us have the debate, because I don't have anything to hide. They went down UDC, they tried to put my name in something that I didn't know anything about, and I answered them. I answered them. The premier of Tatola got himself in some issues, a friend of mine. They tried to associate me with it. It ain't work. I understand that their next try is going to be about Skellig. But tell all of them, tell them I say come. And you all know that I just don't talk. I don't come with facts. Because tell them I don't have anything to hide. They put all sorts of things out there. They say how I have paid off for my house in Crabble. Yes, I have paid off for my house in Crabble. How did I pay off for my house in Crabble? I had a piece of land that I had purchased from the government. I was fortunate enough to have sold the land, and I used the entire proceeds of the sale to pay off for my house up Crabble. I ain't got nothing to hide, because I do talk about integrity in public life. I have a villa that I purchased over at Horizons. Tell them I said to go to Republic Bank if they want to know how I finance the villa over Horizons. I borrowed the money from Horizon Bank, from Republic Bank to pay for it. I have a mortgage that I pay of over $6,300 a month in respect of the villa that I will be paying for 22 years of my life. Since I want to know, tell them I'm going to tell them, because when they come and I start to ask questions, I hope they could answer the questions. I have piece of land I purchased over Half Moon. National Bank lent me every single cent of the money to purchase the piece of land, and I pay National Bank about $1,700 a month for the piece of land. Maybe they think I got something to hide. No, I can talk. That's why I got all kind of vehicles. I had a black BMW car. Tell them, ask Len Harris, if Development Bank didn't lend me the money to buy the old black car from off the internet. I've since sold it. Because I ain't afraid of them. I ain't got thing to hide. That's why I got accounts all over the place. A bank at National Bank, a bank Republic Bank, and the 2 credit union them. Those are the only bank accounts I have. I ain't have no account, no place else. I ain't even got an account in Nevis. I ain't have no account, no place else. But tell them, I say, when they're ready to come, the one who couldn't pay for his Jeep and his house prior to 2015 and has since built $1 million mansion, tell him come and let us have a discussion, a debate as to how he has been able to pay for the $1 million mansion. Tell them I say come. That's why I got shares in company. I ain't got a single share in any company. But those who have signed for shares and profits in company, tell them I say come, let us have a discussion. Tell them I say come. Tell them I say come. They're interfering with the wrong man. Ask them about the second cruise ship pier. Tell them that we have a conversation about that. Tell them let us have a conversation about the houses and Baker's Corner. Tell them let us have a conversation about the Island Main Road project. Tell them I say come. I could answer their questions. I hope they could answer. For those who said I trying to get me hands and money in the treasury, tell them let us have a conversation about election 2020 and some of the bills for election 2020. I tell them not interfere with me, you know. Not interfere with me. No interfere with me. Because I could come up here and I could be the most peaceful person, but I could answer them too. I could answer every single one of them. So tell them I say, when they're ready, come. Because I'm not only going to ask the questions, but I got to bring the evidence. Because y'all know when I get up in Parliament, I like to present my facts. A word to the wise is enough. And I ain't say everything yet. But that's just for them to think about. And so, let us continue to march on. We are called into battle for the future of this nation. And we are answering the call for real unity will never falter at the altar of discord. We march on for the cause of this federation. It is too important to wallow in inaction. We march on for the cause of this federation, leaving no soldier behind, because every citizen of this federation, no matter who they are, must and will be part of the fight for a more caring and equitable society. We march on, for we must safeguard our gains, and we will do so through real unity. And so I said to you here in Sandy Point, I thank you for your continued support. And whenever he gets the guts to call the election, I thank you for your support again. I will continue to engage you as the campaign goes on, because your concerns are indeed my concerns. Again, very, 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 very special thank you to all of you for the support that you will give to John Ellen constituency 2. For Milo in constituency number 3. For Lindsay in constituency number 4. For Chesley in constituency number 8. And for Natasha, Shani, Gray, Brooks, PAM in constituency number 1. Thank you and good night.
Well.
John, we love you, and I could tell you love us too. We feel you, we could feel your love.
Yes. Members and friends of Sandy Point, I say good night.
Good night.
Why I'm here tonight really is to endorse the next Prime Minister for Sandy Point. I was one of them lately who said to Sean, Sean, remember you one was alone in the wilderness. I was away in the UK. But I did support you. I supported you to a point that I meant that you must have a community behind you. Tonight, I have made that choice to be behind Sean. I have been living away for the past almost 15 years. The progress was natural. So when others take the accolades, I done that, those were natural progresses that should have had, okay, by any representative across the board in the political spectrum, right? It's a question, but it's also things I want to say. So I want to read something first, right? And it says, great leaders develop caring connections. And tonight I want to connect because I see the leader in Sean who aspire and who is aspiring younger leaders like myself. I'm not going to leave myself out. Because as a return national, when I return here, I have made several applications to work in the civil service. Nothing happened during previous administrations. I go and I come. One day, while the Unity administration took the office, I get a call. Simba, your application has been approved, you know, but you're not in St. Kitts. And why I'm saying this? Because I work in health. Many people thought it was a political sort of action, a nation, whatever, that has been taken to have me there. I said, no. I apply just like anyone else. But I'm competent. And this is one of the issues I'm bringing here tonight. Competency is something that I see in this unity. Okay? I am about unity. Unity for St. Kitts and Nevis. I did not know about something called the Charleston Accord. But I know about principle and agreement. Legal and binding. Whether if it's the peaceman them decided amongst them are they being paid. They have more integrity than some of the people who are currently having a lot of things to say about unity, about Sean, and about the whole approach to unity. So, you got them who say, well, Sean say he got the cash machine is not in service and we can't support him. You got those who tell me when I went to the Ministry of Health, when I brought my issues about health, and I worked there. And I seen the neglect. I've talked about the neglect. I might be fired tomorrow, but I'm going to make the sacrifice. And I've said to Sean, I'm ready to give up this thing I want to transfer. Okay? But then I thought, there's promise in the year. And I said, Sean, I'm going to make the promise. And I'm going to stay in health. Because where I come from, working in one of the largest, in fact, the largest teaching hospital in the United Kingdom, facility management maintenance structures I was a part of. I get a beat down when I came here to render my service as a return national. Okay? And many have been victimized like myself. For example, the pandemic. Because I've made a constitutional choice to wear a face cover of my preference, I was discriminated against. I was barred from entering my workplace, and I had to sit under a coconut tree for 2 months at least, because I choose to protest of the inequality, the lack of service that the people need. That's health. National security was another issue for me as a returned national.
Give us a question.
I have had several attempts by people, I would say people, okay, who've tried. Now, it's okay. It's an opportunity to endorse my minister. Many people may not have much to say, and I know that. But I want to say, another issue was the national security pertaining to the police. I have seen and I have committed and have said, I am not going to allow my community and the young people to go astray while I see brutality happening. I get involved in altercations with the police. I challenge them. In the end, I took no legal action. That's a man of integrity. At times I lick my wounds. And I want to say, and I'm going to cut it short now, I want to see the people of Sandy Point, and in fact, all PAM and non-PAM supporters, to come and support Sean. Why? I am going to be there. I am going to be the one who, when you're not confident, who will be willing to show you, if you don't know about solar, who would be one who would be there to help and educate your young children, whether if it's afternoon class, just like Lindsay, because we have the people here right here in our community to do that. So, moving forward, I want to make this request. The damage has already been done. Let's move on. Okay? But at the same time, I want to encourage the young guys. Don't look at our servants, political leaders and servants they are, who are here to serve us as a cash machine. Don't, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, but this is a matter of integrity. I'm not going to take no money for no vote. Do not encourage anyone, and I say that as where I'm standing, to take no money for no vote. That's not integrity. And I say that because these people are going to have a conscience to live with. Okay? And I support you in everything else. That's the only thing I'm not going to agree to. And I'm a man of my word. So I endorse Sean because Sean needs the assistance and he needs the help. A leader cannot fight on his own. Okay? And we have to show the competency amongst ourselves to be supportive to a leader in the absence of a leader. We're all leaders. And so, tonight, the next Prime Minister got my full backing. I spoke to my Rasta colleagues. I said, guys, this is the only opportunity we're going to get to tabernacle. And this is no joke. Because, Sean, you have made that promise. And you're going to have to keep it. I'm not talking on the behalf of everyone who are in the Rasta tradition. I am talking both for myself because I'm not a representative of the Rasta faith in the sense of being a Nyabingi member and being a part of the executive and stuff like that. But I'm saying it's overdue. Discrimination must be done with. And I'm going to end there. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Before I go, I'm just going to read this and I'll go. Because we've had people discriminate Rastas, we had the people discriminate the peacemen and all sorts, right? But I'm going to say this.
It's getting...
That's okay, that's okay. You would have to listen to me, please. I am very passionate about endorsing a man who's been on his own in the wilderness for many years. And this is significant to me because Mr. Richard inspired me. He was my teacher. I used to spam him about leadership. So what I'm going to read is about leadership, and it's going to take a minute. Okay? I have to take my time.
You want to go and come back?
Sorry, I'm just trying to find my I'm just trying to find my speech because it seems like it's a little bit lost. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, I can't find it, so I will leave it there. But in the end, I will give someone else a turn, and I'll get the opportunity another time to read something that is going to be more pertinent to what I'm saying.
Wonderful.
Sean is the man for Sandy Point.
Thank you.
And
really appreciate it.
For this election, you are going to see me in every cracks and crevices and corners, on the streets, in the fields, in the mountains. I'm supporting unity this time around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, everybody. Good day. Good night, everybody. I talk Mr. Mr. Richards. Mr. Richards, you know you're from St. Paul. Mr. Richards, what do you think of St. Paul in general? Look at us. You know, we saw for 20 years now under the same man. Every time you come off St. Paul football, we want to say, what do you think for the gang in St. Paul's? Mr. Richards? Eh?
He will answer afterwards. He'll answer your question. Just ask the question, he'll answer after. Oh. Just ask the question or questions that you have. He will answer them. Thank you very much for your question.
Shift the mic. Shift the mic. Shift the mic. Okay, good.
Good night.
Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in my hometown. And I come tonight to represent Honorable Sean Richards. I remember in my days, we couldn't come outside when Labour was coming. They had a meeting and then they had motorcade. My grandmother, may God rest her soul, Marty William, she said, I don't come outside. I said, what? That time Mom got some stone. Mom wasn't easy. She said, don't come up because my mother gone to St. Thomas to fight for us. She don't want nothing happen to us. And when they come, we have to go inside, bottle in a truck. I don't remember who was at the election because we were back and forth. Foreign. And now I couldn't vote. I didn't know about election because I was a station from small. And I never had children. I don't know what's going on. This is my hometown, Tita, from Crab Hill, representing Honorable Sean K. Richards, next Prime Minister.
God bless you. Next question.
From my background is always SP, we're the best P.
Yes.
When the bell ring, so next election when the bell ring, I know where I'm going. I know what I'm going to do. Because when they had a meeting in town, I rally with them. And I was living in the country and they say, because I went to the meeting, they want the house. I turned to Lindsay and I turned to Janelle and they start what there for me. They said, don't worry and get you. I rally with them and I'm going to rally with them again. And when I leave from here, I know where I'm going. I got my keys. I love my people. I love my aunt. She ain't so well. They always spam. Grayson that I'm gone, always spam. Everett, she ain't so well. My great aunt. And I'm not going to turn back the millions of times. It's too late. It's too late. Thank you all. And when my children come, I know where they're going and where they are. When my mother comes from St. Thomas, I know where they're coming from and where they are.
Thank you very much.
God bless you all.
Thank you very much.
Have a blessed night.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thank you,
God
thank you.
will really bless me. Tita SP.
We need some questions. If not, we may have to wind up. We are getting more comments than questions. We want some questions, please. I know you're passionate about your endorsements and your comments, but if there are no questions, we'll have to go into the entertainment section of this gathering. Next question?
Go ahead. Okay, good night to everybody.
Good night.
Right. I know this is supposed to be a question and answer, right? But the two people that will just come on, right? They just come on here and just praise you and whatnot, right? Which is the chef off from what we're really doing. Okay? I got an envelope here with questions, right? But children familiar with my questions, right? I'm gonna just go about the thing. Right? Yeah, you want me to get to the point. Anyway.
No, the mic.
Of
Speak
recent
into the mic.
times, right?
Speak into the mic.
Of recent times and social media, right? One of the persons who is the opposition for the Labour Party, right, Mr. Kenny Douglas, he raised something the other day, right, of concern. Mr. Sean Richards, deputy, former deputy, right, which is, I want everybody to know, right, that's my godfather, right? You see how he's smiling, you know what I mean? Mr. Kenny Richards, right, raised a concern the other day. Okay. Yeah, Kenny Douglas, sorry about that. Just so focused on talking about you, really, you know what I mean? But yeah, as I say now, Mr. Kenny Douglas, right?
Take your time, take
your time. He raised a concern the other day. Back in 2013, the Labour Party, right? They went forward with a program that was dealing with like the athletes. Many if you remember that, right? You went into office from 2015, right? If I correct, 2015, right? You was given the portfolio of sports, right? As you went in, maybe not like as you went in, but you went forward and stopped a certain program, right? I was dealing with the athletes that was abroad, right? My question to you now is why you did that.
Okay.
You understand?
Is there another question?
No, I have more questions. I have like 3 questions. Maybe it won't be long. I just got 3 questions. You know what I mean? Yeah. You was on the portfolio from 2020. Yeah, 2020. I went into office again. You got another portfolio, right, for infrastructure, right? I want you, Mr. Sean Richards, to address everybody here and tell us what have you done in concerns to the place here where you call your place. Yeah, Sunny Point. Me talking about you do the court, because this court, what you say you do, it is not finished. Right, you don't state that. You don't state that tonight. I stop
young man.
No, again,
hold on. You can't ask a question and answer it.
This
you
is a
either
question
ask the question and wait for the answer.
Why is a question and answer? Why Rex before? Why Rex before? I tried to figure out what's going on here. You understand?
Good. I have 2 questions. Where's the third question?
Huh?
The third question.
My third question?
Yes.
Okay. I have not voted for Mr. Sean Richards, right? In the last election, the election before that. Right? I did not vote for him.
Speak into the mic.
Right? Me, as a person who did not vote for him, right? He has already come out and said, he has failed this country, right? And the people, he has publicly come out and said that. Yeah, I look up on social media, I go back for them. Yeah, I look. So I tried to figure out now, how is it he can convince me after already failed? After he already failed.
All right. Thank you.
I need to know how.
Thank you for your 3 questions. I really appreciate it. The Honorable Sean Richard will answer you.
Yeah, blessed Lord. Can I get everybody humblest? Yeah, blessed love. Good evening to everyone. Yeah, my name is Rastafari Bobo Clive Anthony Morgan. I'm here to ask a question.
Proceed.
Yeah, pertaining to I representative at Sandy Point.
Yes.
The question goes like this. When Sandy Point win and they go to Nevis to join, is the treasury going to move from St. Kitts to Nevis?
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Honorable. We'll have the Honorable Sean Kerry just to answer.
Good night. Let me say good night to everyone. My fellow Sandy Pointers, those of you at the head table, my great leader, Honorable Sean Richards, I'm really here to endorse you tonight. You're a man of your word. You kept your word. You kept your promises. And we are seeing the best of you. And we know that you will not let us down. I want to implore my Sandy Pointers, be very careful about all this money going around. They will give you $5,000 for 5 years. Do the maths. $1,000 per year. 12 months in a year is $83.33. When you break it down to a day, it's about $2.77. How that could feed you all for 5 years? Tell me, can you survive on that? Please be careful. Do not get sidetracked. Be careful what you do. Always be positive. My grandmother always tell me, do not look for politicians for any handouts. People, work hard. Work hard for what you want. Everybody, sometimes I go around Sandy Point, you hear, Sean ain't give me this, Sean ain't give me that. What you all want the man to do? He has things to do too. He's a human being. You all must stop it. Work hard for what you want. And then you will see the fruits of your labor. So I implore you, do not take the people's money because they're going to buy you. Always work for what you want. Too many times we talk about foreigners coming into this country. I'm not against foreigners. Don't take me wrong. I love everybody. But just like how the foreigner can come and set up business, what happened to us? Do not run to the government for a job here and there all the time. Set up a business. Form a cooperative. We are talented people here in Sandy Point. Many of you may not have known. Years gone by, Sandy Point boasted of the most head teachers in St. Kitts. We are proud people. We never used to beg. And I'm ashamed of my people now begging. We are not like that. Come on, rise up. Rise to the occasion. Let us rally behind our leader, the next Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you
very much, sir.
Okay.
Good night to the head table.
Good night.
And Mr. Chair.
Good night.
Most of the presentations have been major endorsements. And so I perhaps don't really have to add to that. I don't want to spoil the momentum, but I came to really bring a pretty serious issue to the fore. And I'll say it briefly because I believe there may be others who would like to come and really big up the head table. I have no difficulty with that at all. But as we look forward to returning to government and do things for the people, One of the things I noticed that we don't speak much about has to do with food security. And I want you to know that, especially over the last few years, we have significantly deteriorated and things are getting critical. And it is important that we look into that. Now, let me say to us that CARICOM and St. Kitts, as a part of CARICOM, we have committed to do something about our food security. In that we've said that we're committing ourselves to reducing our imports by 25% in the next 3 years. Now, presently, we only produce about 1 million kilograms of food per year. If we're going to reduce imports, we have to increase that to about 47,000 kilograms. That's a hectic thing to do. And so I am asking and saying to us tonight that let us understand that this is something like an impending hurricane, because the boats are not always coming. And if we don't do something, we could very well face starvation. So Mr. Sean Richards and the head table, Honorable Sean and the head table, as we aspire to become once again the new government, please, I say to us, bear in mind our food security situation, which has gone very badly in recent times. Because of the shortage of time, I would not go into any details at this time, but I commend your efforts on the trail, and I wish you the very best. But I say to you, remember that in your plans, we have to put a proper team together, including the right personnel, or else we're going to have critical issues in feeding our people, and other gains made will be lost. God bless you all.
And it's just before you go, I just want to announce that tomorrow in constituency number 1 is the opening of the constituency office for constituency number 1, where the representative Natasha, Shani, Gray, Brooks, PAM will be opening the constituency office. 6 o'clock tomorrow.
All right, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Chairman,
Yes.
political leader, candidates, constituents, Sandy Point, and all the other constituencies, brothers and sisters of the People's Action Movement, a pleasant good evening. Words, man. Words. The hymn writer says, what can I say unto the Lord? But thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you to see the real 3rd Timothy. Thank you, Lord. We thank you for seeing the real Timothy. The real Timothy, we want to say thank you because nobody expect and sight coming. Otherwise, we'd have said no from the beginning. But we want to say thank you. Thank you. Tonight, I also want to endorse my political leader, the Honorable Sean Richards, and my constituency representative. I have been off the mic for a very long time because I was giving other people the opportunity to talk. So I'm back. Hardest is back. I am back. I let the world know the hardest is back. Because I have a lot of things to say. A lot of things to say. I've been a PAM for a long time.
I have stayed a PAM and continue to be a PAM. I will never move from being a PAM. Everybody asking, I mean, that's the hardest. I'm kind of busy working at Rams because I got your position up there. So when you ain't see me, I walk in. Right? And when you see me, I walk. Like tonight, Patsy. So I am here. I am here. So I want to say to you all, right? Can I end now, please, right? That we have to be very careful as Sandy Pointers. I love my fellow Sandy Pointers. But what I've seen, I don't like. Because we have never turned our back on PAM like that. Because of money. Money and things. We don't have to go that way. Because at the end of the day, you take the money, you vote for them, and when they get in, they're going to pull along the ladder like how they do Sean and turn you and destroy you. I am using this opportunity, this podium tonight, to call back home my fellow Sandy Pointers who have gone astray. Come back home. Come back to PAM. We have been out in the wilderness suffering for a number of years. Come home, it's supper time. Come home, my brothers and sisters, it's supper time. Yes. And I want to end by saying to you, I love PAM, you love PAM too. Let us get together, bind ourselves together, and beat the enemy, beat the beast, and beat the disgraceful person who pretend that he was a gentleman. He's a dog, and he's nasty. Thank you. Good night. We know, thank you for the questions. We now ask the political leader and the representative to answer those questions that were asked of him. And so that, today it is a weeknight, so just want him to come and answer the questions that were placed to him.
I will speak. Thank you, Kima. Good night to everyone again. Firstly, let me say a very special thank you to Simba for his endorsement. I truly appreciate the endorsement that you have given and also your support. It is the voice of persons such as yourself who can come to the mic and give of their own personal experiences, who help to convince other persons about the fight for democracy, not just in this constituency, but throughout the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We, as the candidates, we can speak to persons, but of course, it is the personal experiences that persons are able to give. It is how persons like you are able to sell the candidates, which I do believe make a difference, especially amongst your peers. So indeed, I am grateful for the strong words of endorsement that you have given. I thank you for your support, and I look forward to your support on election day and beyond. Indeed, it is about a relationship amongst all of us in Sandy Point, and it is only through persons like you speaking we are able to hear your concerns and put the necessary policies in place which are beneficial to all persons. Secondly, to the young man from St. Paul's who asked about the People's Action Movement coming to that constituency, engaging persons from the constituency, I am happy to say to you that hopefully no later than about 2 weeks' time, we will name the representative for that constituency, and so that in terms of you having someone to liaise with in that particular constituency, you would be able to do so. However, In the interim, I make myself available to all persons from constituency number 6 and all citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis to discuss whatever concerns you may have in your individual constituencies. To my dear godson, Joan, and indeed, he is my first godchild. He is a young man. We have had, allow me to speak, please. We have had our differences because of how he expresses himself at times. He is someone who I have invested my time in, I've invested my financial resources in. He is someone who I continue to speak to because at the very core of my heart, I have his best interest. As a matter of fact, I will also say that I am very proud of the fact that he has been able to come here this evening and so eloquently ask his questions. Now, to go specifically to the questions that he asked. He asked a question pertaining to my tenure as the Minister of Sports and said that according to a gentleman who contested the last election, lost by the most votes anyone ever lost by in Sandy Point, and partly because of the fact that when it comes to the platform, rather than addressing real issues, rather than speaking to the truth, he comes with gossip. Now, what are the facts? When I became Minister of Sports, the Ministry of Finance had a proposal before it, even before my tenure, with regards to giving assistance to athletes to prepare them for the 2016 Olympics in Rio, Brazil. At that point in time, none of the monies had been disbursed. When I became the minister, we made a submission to the Ministry of Finance to disburse the funds so that the athletes who were preparing for Rio, they would be able to get a monthly stipend from the Ministry of Sports to assist them with their preparations for Rio. As I sat there, I actually did a search of my email to find the pertinent facts. And the facts are right here in front of me. Now, what does the information reveals? We had a number of athletes who were listed for assistance. Number one on the list is from Sandy Point, Jason Rogers. Gender, male category, senior event, 100 meters, season best, 10.17. Rio qualify, and it says in a column here, no. And the athletes were receiving assistance from a number of different organizations. But in particular, from the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Rogers was allocated a monthly amount of $2,750. That was monthly. When the program was undertaken, it was decided that for a few months, you would give some of the athletes a particular amount of money. And then eventually, after the athletes qualify or don't qualify, then you're limited. And so Mr. Rogers had been receiving $2,750. You have an Alistair Clark here who had been receiving a similar amount. The third name is Leshad Roland. He wasn't receiving any. Sir Delwyn someplace in the back. And Sir Delwyn can verify this information in terms of Delwyn Delaney, senior 100 meters, his season best 10.38. Delwayne was allocated an amount of $1,500 from the Ministry of Sports. Delwayne, am I correct? Were you receiving $1,500 monthly? Yes, you were. Very correct. So I'm not telling any lies because Delwayne is here and the information is here in front of me. And so you have all the athletes listed, and those who were receiving from the Ministry of Sports, you have the amount that they were receiving from the Ministry of Sports. And then you have a final table here. And the amount that the Ministry of Finance had released in the first instance was an amount of $203,359.97. And so you had, in total, Jason Rogers received $15,486.33. Alistair Clark received a similar amount. Well, I'm seeing a total here for Lestrade Rowland. Delwayne Delaney, $12,226. Adolphus Jones, $12,026. Warren Hazel, $9,169. O'Neill Thomas, $11,410. Bridges Lawrence, $14,059.96. Kim Collins, $22,414.43. Antoine Adams, $19,561.68. Virgil Hodge, $16,912.70. Maricia Pemberton, $9,780.84. Unique Brown, $12,022.28. And Tamika Williams, $16,301.40 for a total of $203,359.97. So indeed, under my tenure, we ensured that we wrote to the Ministry of Finance to get the money and disburse the money amongst the athletes. As a matter of fact, I've heard that the same person has made a claim that I stopped some sort of money that Jason Rogers was receiving. I did not stop any money for Jason Rogers. Jason Rogers also would have reached out to the ministry on other occasions to receive assistance, and assistance was given to Jason Rogers, and I can go back into my emails, find the correspondence with Jason Rogers, and speak specifically to that. Okay? The other question you asked, well, you made mention of this particular facility, and yes, I said there is still some work to be done at this facility. But while I said there is still some work to be done at this facility, let us take a look at the work which was done during my tenure as Minister of Sports in respect of this facility. This netball court was completely repaved. The basketball court is a brand new basketball court. It is a brand new basketball court. As a matter of fact, the poles and the rims that you're seeing, they were the traditional type of poles and rims. It was under my tenure as the Minister of Sports, we began changing out all of the poles and rims to make them with the glass, to get those with the glass backboard, and also to get the adjustable poles. Because as I thought about it, I said that the younger children, be it from primary school or even from the nursery, can come and begin to practice to play basketball if we have adjustable poles. And I began a program of changing them out at all of the different basketball courts. Those in Fig Tree were changed. Those at the Harford Tree playfield were changed. Those in Boyd's were changed. We gave some to St. Paul's, and we began a process of changing out all of them when I was the Minister of Sports. But not only that, the seating that we are seeing in the back of the netball court, those seating never existed prior to I becoming the Minister of Sports. The changing room and bleachers that you're seeing over there, also with the room at the top for the officials, that was also under my tenure as Minister of Sports. There are only two netball basketball courts in St. Kitts which currently have the LED lights which you are seeing, Sandy Point and the field in Boyd's. Because again, I took a decision to begin changing out all of the poles and not being certain as to the type of lighting that we would receive from these new poles, we began with Sandy Point and Boyd's, and then my intention was to go forward with all of the other courts throughout the different communities. The stage and everything that you're seeing, as a matter of fact, the entire facility was repainted. And I remember during the first year for Black Sun in 2015 when I became the minister, Black Sun reached out to me in terms of doing some repairs inside here. And as we began doing the repairs, we made a number of changes to the top there, and we made a number of changes here. After we had basically finished with the whole bleachers and everything that you're seeing, then we took a decision to paint the inside. I remember the painters had the paint stored on the inside, and somebody from this community broke inside there and stole the paint which was being used to upgrade this facility. Now, I think as you look someplace here, you would recognize there's a concrete structure someplace there. And that concrete structure is for an electronic scoreboard which was purchased for this facility. Outside of the Sandy Point community, it is only the court in Basti, which is used by Scabba for basketball, which has an electronic scoreboard. So the two things which are basically left to be completed inside of this facility would be the installation of the electronic scoreboard and the matting which was purchased for the basketball court and the netball court to be put down. Now you may ask the question as to why the matting hasn't been placed as yet. One would recognize that the gate to come inside of the facility is dilapidated, it has been removed. And so a decision was taken not to put down the matting until a proper gate has been installed, because it means that vehicles would be able to drive into the facility onto the matting. I have had numerous conversations with the Ministry of Sports about doing repairs to the gate, but to date, those repairs are still outstanding. But that is the only thing left to be done here. So in terms of this facility, the facility was looking nowhere close to how it was looking when I took over as Minister of Sports. As a matter of fact, I am proud to say that as Minister of Sports, the only constituency which had a capital project to enhance its sporting facilities is right here in Sandy Point. If you go to the play field, two new tennis courts were installed at the play field, a clubhouse was installed at the play field, a children play area was installed at the play field, lighting was placed on the play field. Prior to my tenure, no bars were available at that play field. And so, whichever organization had any activity there, they had to set up a bar underneath of tents. Now you have 3 bars provided at that particular play field. So I stand proud in terms of my record of accomplishments relative to the sporting facilities here in Sandy Point. Okay. You have asked a question about my tenure as the Minister for Public Infrastructure, and that too I can speak to. I became the Minister of Public Infrastructure in 2020, in June of 2020. Of course, a budget had already been in place relative to that ministry. And by half of the year, most of those capital projects were already expended. One of the capital projects, though, which had been ongoing, is that of the Island Main Road project. As part of the Island Main Road project, the Water Department had taken a particular position that it wasn't going to change out the main water lines here in Sandy Point. I personally took a decision that the pipes were already purchased, and those water main lines, which were of asbestos and which were in existence for some 20 to 30 years, I took a decision that yes, the project might go longer, than one expects, but certainly those water lines in Sandy Point would be changed. Initially, I got quite a bit of cursing for it because it took quite a bit of time for the Island Main Road project here in Sandy Point to be completed. As a matter of fact, Sandy Point was almost the last community which saw the paving of the Island Main Road. I politely asked persons to bear the inconvenience because at the end of it, it is for the benefit of persons from Sandy Point. In 2021, the ministry was allocated $5 million for the development of roads in different communities. The first set of roads which were built out of that $5 million were up in the project in Crabbill, where you have persons like Rosemary Govaya, Floyd Buchanan, the Lady Daniel, etc. living. That was the first project which was done from that $5 million. Now, you had a number of balances coming over from 2020 in respect of road projects which had not been completed. So really and truly, the ministry had less than $5 million for just roads built in 2021. Coming close to the end of the year, we recognize that we had a balance of about $1.8 million left in that capital project for roads. Because it was coming close to the end of the year, we recognize that we need to spend as much as we can out of that $1.8 million. Otherwise, the year would finish and the money does not roll over into the following year. You don't use it, the ministers here, the former ministers here, they can tell you if you don't use it, you lose it. I called the supervisor for roads and I said to the supervisor for roads, we have $1.8 million and we need to identify at least 2 roads which we can utilize the $1.8 million. So provide me with estimates for a number of roads. The estimates came in. When the estimates came in, it so happens that you had a road in Milliken which the ministry had estimated to cost, I think, about $800,000. And then the second road, which persons have also made politics of, is the road at Rowland Hill, where persons such as Mr. Duggins, where Patras has a house, and where my mother also happens to live. Hold on. That road, the ministry estimated to cost $1.2 million. So between those 2 roads, you had an estimate basically of 1.8. You had other roads close to $3 million and over $3 million. A decision was therefore taken to put those 2 roads out to tender. So when, as a matter of fact, we also had to speak to the procurement committee to work with us because we recognize the timing was short in order to utilize as much as possible of the funds. The roads went out to tender, the tender documents came back in. And when we began looking at the road in Milliken, the director of public works came back and said that that road is actually on private property. And so we couldn't proceed with that particular one. The one on Rowland Hill, we did that one. Now, essentially what has happened when persons making politics out of that road and saying the road has been paved because my mother lives there. It means that for the year 2021, because we had basically $5 million to spend, the only constituency which benefited from that $5 million was Sandy Point. The only constituency that benefited from it. And it wasn't by design, because as I said, by the time we began looking at the balance of the money, we had to make a determination as to which roads we can use the balance of the money. My mother can tell you that she and I have had several different arguments about her road to the extent she stopped asking me about it. Because she used to be constantly on my case, when I'm going to pave she road, when I'm going to pave she road. And I used to say to her, like I said, I'm a very plain person. And just as I'm plain with y'all, I used to tell my mother point blank, you have other persons waiting for roads longer than you have been waiting for road. And the first thing that persons will say, when this road is paved, is because it's your mother road, why the road got paved. Mr. Farrier at Downing Street, she complained to Mr. Farrier, and the same thing I told her is the same thing I told Mr. Farrier. She complained to the security officers who used to work with me, and the same thing I tell her is the same thing I tell them. She complained to all kind of people about the road. And I said the very same thing to them, that I am not going to give a priority simply because she is my mother. But that is how that road ended up being paved when persons are trying to make it a case that I only pave that particular road and the road finish where she lives. As short as the road is, if I remember correctly, the road was done by Elco, and the road came in at an estimate at about $1.1 million. Therefore, the money wasn't enough to do the rest of the roads in Farms Estate area, because had we gone up there, you could not have used any of the money to do the roads up there because of how much money the ministry had left at that particular point in time. We got the ministry was allocated the next $5 million this year. And Lindsay can tell you that I put a road out to tender in his constituency for some $2.8 million. So even if they go ahead and do that road, it means only 2.2 is left to do other roads. People see roads and people feel that to pave a road is a cheap undertaking. It is not a cheap undertaking. So, yes, I can speak to what I have done in this constituency as the minister with responsibility for public infrastructure. I also say a very special thank you to Theodore Brown, Prince, for his solid endorsement. Prince, as one from this community, has been a staunch supporter. Prince is the type of person who would call me, and if he has any concerns, he would let me know what his concerns are. If he feels I need to do something differently, he would let me know. If he feels that I need to have a conversation with a supporter, he also says that. And I must say again that it is because of advice of persons like Prince that I am able to grow and become a better representative for this constituency and for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Melvin's question spoke to food security. And it was only on Tuesday night I had the opportunity to be on an online program discussing food security. What I would have said to the persons then, it's not just about food security, but it's also about food safety. Our goal is to reduce imports by some 40%, and there are different ways in which we intend to go about doing that. I think COVID, I think the supply chain issues have taught us that in terms of food security, we need to do a better job in terms of growing more of our own food. Some of the ideas that I express include ensuring that we have a land use policy which allocates land for agricultural purposes. And that land use policy must be grounded in regulations. It must be grounded in some sort of legislation, so that today the land isn't designated for a particular purpose, and then tomorrow someone makes a determination that the land is now to be used for some different purpose, and you have farmers being dislocated. I spoke about ensuring that water is available for our farmers. I spoke about ensuring that there is a fund to give assistance to farmers. I spoke about having the necessary equipment available to farmers. I spoke about the feed and getting more private persons to become involved in the supply of feed, because we have had farmers who have lost their animals because no feed is available. I spoke about the fact that we need to put an insurance fund in place for farmers so that when they lose, be it their crops or the animals, that instead of having to go through that loss, they have some sort of insurance that they can recoup those losses from. And we have a very comprehensive plan with regards to ensuring that farming, agriculture becomes a priority under real unity. Back drink, Nevis has its own treasury and St. Kitts has its own treasury. Nevis has its own treasury, St. Kitts has its own treasury. So you don't have to worry about that. Where am I going, Nevis, to do what? St. Kitts?
I'll now call on Miss Roisha Demin to bring the vote of thanks. I just want to, in the meantime, let you know that 6 o'clock on Saturday, there is a jumble sale? A jumble sale at constituency number 2 office. So 6 a.m. onwards, there will be a jumble sale at constituency number 2 office. Don't forget, tomorrow, constituency number 1, the opening of the constituency office. Okay? So, Miss Demin, where is she? Please come and offer the vote of thanks.
Good night, everyone. I know it was listed as Roisha Demin, however, I am Valsia Glasgow. Surprise! Members and friends of the People's Action Movement, good night. Members and friends of Hub City, good night. And we say good night to the comrades as well, because they are watching and they are listening. And in PAM, we full of manners. So comrades, good night. And please leave peacefully. Members, good night as well. We full of manners in PAM. Nice, nice and sweet, sweet. My task this evening is simple but salient. I came to show thanks and gratitude to everyone who made tonight's proceedings possible. First and foremost, I give all the praise and thanks to the Almighty God for seeing this great party through storms, valleys, jungles, and keeping us steadfast and strong. God has kept us and He will see us through. I wish to thank our own national hero here in Sandy Point, Colin Wyatt, for his energetic performance and for reminding us that SP is where the best be. Jevon, your prayer was touching and your greeting was all-inclusive, and the comrades were watching. They said good night as well. To the chair, Mr. Chesley Hamilton, thank you for cheering tonight and keeping the energy alive. Our ministers, as usual, are keeping us informed, inspired, and in shape to be ready for this battle will call for us to play our part. Daniel, you set the tone gracefully with your introduction to the minister, and he delivered well. We thank you both. To the technical team, Pro Video Production, DJ Slaughter, the hard-working team who toiled to make this town hall a success, we say thank you. Now to you, the people, who showed up and keep showing up meeting after meeting. Words can't thank you enough. You have shown your dedication and support to this party. To my lovely, sweet, and nice Sandy Pointers, thank you for your support. Hub, hub, hub.
Thank you very much. We now want to turn the entertainment over to Jeezy Sparta. So let's get the entertainment going. It is 11:45. We want to give you some entertainment. Those of you who have to work tomorrow may choose to leave or stay. But we want.
There had it, folks. The People's Action Movement Town Hall Meeting in constituency number 5. It's 10 minutes to the hour of 12. Stay tuned, folks. We get back to our regular programming.